Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you so much for joining us as we take a look at this big high that is tracking across the country, but perhaps more importantly, what is coming next week. We've got a lot of low pressure and winter is likely to be kicking off on a wintry note. So let's take a look and see what is happening. So high pressure is pretty much dominating still, so not a lot to talk about as we go towards the end of the week, but temperatures are up by day especially. The nights are a bit cold, but the days are definitely warmer than average in almost every single part of the country, with the exception of Northland, which is bang on normal for this time of the year. Everybody else, though, warmer than average. In these areas in red, you are 4 to 8 degrees above normal, mostly around that 4-5 degrees above normal mark. Now, as we move through to Friday, the high that's been parked out to our west finally moves in, and it looks like New Zealand's wearing a pair of sunglasses as that high transitions across us. There's a very light westerly that continues on in the South Island, but in the north, a new developing easterly after a week of sou'westers. Now you've got easterlies coming in, so that'll be a little bit of a change in the weather that you've been getting, just a slight change. So temperatures again are high on Friday, higher than they should be for this time of the year. Almost the entire country warmer than average, just a little pocket in here that's about normal, and Banks Peninsula as well, but everybody else has a warmer than normal Friday. And this is how it looks as we go on towards the weekend. That big high transitioning from the western side of New Zealand to the eastern side. That means that we're starting to get a subtropical airflow in some areas, and for others, an Australian westerly picking up. So either way, Saturday is another warm day across the country. It'll be warmer than average in almost every part, and we have showers returning to the west coast, and those winds starting to pick up even more. So by Sunday, we've got a bit of rain on the west coast. We've got those windy westerlies blowing around the South Island and also just the lower North Island. It's not a major wind, it's just a little bit breezy, and a couple of showers getting up around Taranaki. Otherwise, the high is just still trying to hold on. Now, as we go into next week, we've got a few changes. So on Monday, you see that high finally clearing away after being with us for over a week. Now we're getting into the windier weather. There's a storm in the Southern Ocean. There's a couple of them actually, and that sends up a whole lot of rain on the west coast. So there could be rain warnings and wind warnings as well as we get to the start of next week in the South Island. By Tuesday, it's pretty much the South Island that's only got the wind and rain. The rain is just over on the west coast, and most of that is on the southern half. The winds are blustery the whole way up the South Island. They get into Cook Strait and the lower North Island by the end of Tuesday, but everyone else actually not looking too bad. Still pretty light winds and not a lot of rain around. The North Island's looking mostly dry. But our final map is for Wednesday, and it shows you the big change that is building. So we've got this southerly change coming towards the end of next week. Winter on the meteorological calendar kicks off next Saturday, not this Saturday, the following one. And so this is going to be timed perfectly with that. So we've got a wintry change for the first day of winter on the meteorological calendar. So I think that'll make a few smiles for some people, because winter's been a little bit sort of vacant this autumn. Normally we get a bit of a hint of winter coming in, but not this autumn. It's been a pretty warm one. So we've got a real change coming next week, although I have to say it'll be still warm on Wednesday, because you've got northwesterly winds for most places. But this dark blue line here, that is indicating a much colder surge of air. That is coming in for next Thursday, next Friday, and next Saturday. That's all from me for now. We'll catch you again tomorrow with the latest for this coming weekend.